Hey guys, it's Connor here from Connor O'Shea Fitness. Today I'm joined by my client Daniel, and Daniel's just finished 12 weeks with me in my online coaching program, the Strong for Life Blueprint. So Daniel's going to talk about his experience so far. He's gotten some amazing results to date. Daniel, thank you for taking time out of your day. Why don't you tell everyone a bit about yourself, maybe your age and where you're based?
Yeah, no worries, Connor. Thanks for that. So my name's Daniel. Obviously, I'm 28. I'm based in Melbourne, Australia. I'm a student at the moment, so studying paramedicine and working in kind of a non-emerge ambulance sector, which is kind of specific to Victoria. I'm also trying to work my way into the fire brigade as well, which is kind of why I got in touch with Connor in the first place. So yeah, that's
Mhm.
me.
Awesome. So why don't you go into a bit more detail about that and maybe say why you reached out in the first place?
Sure, yeah. So about the same time I started uni, also applied for the fire brigade. And obviously, as part of that, there's some physical test components through the application process. And basically, had a stumbling block in the first sort of application with a medical aspect, which then got cleared. But it meant that I'd have to sort of retest some of the physical components, in particular the beep test.
Mhm.
And basically, why I reached out to Connor was sort of going back in my past work history. I've done a lot of sort of labouring type work, which over time has just kind of put my back into, well, had some back issues associated with that.
Mhm.
And then as soon as COVID hit and everything started slowing down and stuff, my back started, getting a little bit more sore every day and just general niggles. So I reached out to Connor to, I guess, work on some back pain and just getting some more movement and confidence in that area. And yeah, just having the ability to smash out the beep test. So.
Mhm. Yeah, and can you say, have you tried anything in the past? Any other programs, or maybe what sort of training were you doing up to when we started working together?
Yeah, sure. So, previous to this, I hadn't been doing a lot of running, which I think was part of the reason why it started to get a bit aggravated. I do have a little bit of a home gym set up, so I was kind of really just trying to do things by myself, like write myself a little program, and then yeah, stick to that. And that was kind of varying success. Like I'd have a couple of weeks where I'd make some ground, and then yeah, there wasn't just that accountability aspect, I guess, when you're training by yourself. So yeah, I wasn't in a space where I wanted to be. I wasn't feeling confident in my body. And yeah, I think reaching out to a trainer kind of takes that out of your hands and you kind of just doing what you said or doing what you're told, which is awesome.
Yeah, it's a really good point, and it's I think the Dan John, who's a really famous strength coach, he said if you're writing your own programs, you've got an awful trainer, or something along those lines. Basically, your trainer sucks.
Yeah.
So like, doesn't matter who you are. I stopped. I haven't written a program for myself in probably 5 years now, just
Yeah.
because you avoid the essential things that you should probably be doing for whatever reason.
Yeah, definitely.
So let's talk about, when you were kind of deciding to join the program. It's an online program as well. So did you have any kind of apprehensions or fears before jumping in?
Yeah, so I'd never tried an online program
Mm.
before. I think specifically with the time with COVID happening, gyms were closed anyway. So I think that was a big part of it. But at the same time, just the online program, you had more touch points. I found, which was really good.
Hmm.
Um, I was a little bit apprehensive about it, whether it was obviously it's going to be a little bit different to having that physical interaction and, you're queuing and having someone physically there to sort of watch your form. But yeah, I think, yeah, I mean, it's got results. So it's been really good. There's an online community as well, which is really cool. So all of Connor's clients. Kind of, we have our own Facebook group, and we kind of give each other advice as well, or encouragement, and then Connor kind of just oversees it and gives us some tips and hints. And yeah, it's really good. I really enjoyed it.
Awesome, mate. So maybe talk about your results so far, because you've gotten some great results over the last 12 weeks.
Yeah, definitely, definitely. So I think the two main ones was with the fire risk process. I had to go through a medical assessment again. So just being able to just basic things like, touch your toes, stand, bend side to side, leaning back, things like that, without any pain or difficulty. So it's a small physical assessment. And pre the program, that was a struggle. Like sometimes just waking up and, getting in and out of chairs, you like hands on knees or hands on the side at its worst part. And then the second goal was the beep test. So needing to get a 9.6, and yeah, working through with Connor, I've been able to, keep my running up whilst, I guess, having that sort of confidence and less pain in my back, and, feeling really stronger. So that's booked in for next week. So fingers crossed. But yeah, I did a practice one the other day, which I was telling Connor about before. And yeah, I'm like sort of a level and a half above what I need to get. So feeling pretty confident.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. And so basically, you're feeling much more confident about getting into the fire brigade now as you would have been beforehand. And you touched on having more, I guess, confidence when your body kind of sustaining you as well.
Definitely. Yeah. And I guess working in the non-emergency sector, which is basically an ambulance service for lower acuity patients, we are still using a lot of manual stretches. So there's a lot of awkward lifting. There's a lot of, I guess, like physically helping patients to and from the stretcher. So there's a lot of, still a lot of like awkward and sometimes quite heavy lifting involved in my work. And so yeah, just feeling like, you can get through a 10 or 12-hour day, without pulling up sore for the next 3 days has been amazing. Like it's
Yeah, for sure, definitely. And that's I was talking to you about this when we first started working together, that for whatever reason, I've trained quite a few paramedics over the years, and all of them had lower back pain.
yeah,
All of them, like, yeah, it's just part of the job if they're not training to sustain against that.
yeah.
Anyone, your friends, family, your partner, seen any differences with you over the last 12 weeks?
Yeah, I think just I guess a better mindset, I think. Particularly my family. I was really disappointed the first time I went through and got to that medical stage, and, didn't get knocked back, but there was a lot of extra stuff I had to do. And that was kind of getting me down. It was getting my confidence down. I think it's just that, yeah, just training and having, a better mindset. It just flows on with every other part of your life. You're happier, you're more energetic, you want to do more stuff as well. So yeah, I think, yeah, a little bit to do with the Melbourne lockdown as well. I think everyone was mentally not in a great place. So also just having a project, I guess, like a 12-week plan, like something to focus on and something to, I guess, structure your day with was amazing. Like, yeah, it was really massive help to get us through that. So yeah, it's been good.
Yeah, that's a really good point, mate. And let's just say there's someone who is, a guy in his 20s, maybe his late 20s, 30s, or early 40s, and he's in not necessarily, wanting to get his body right for work, but maybe his body is just, feeling like it's breaking down a lot from sitting too much or whatnot, and he wants to get things back on track. What advice would you give to him going forwards?
Just to start. It's like that's the hardest bit, and it's probably the bit I was most anxious about. Having sort of been in the PT industry as well previously, I know quite a lot of trainers tend to go 100% right from the start. Like, yep, sweet, motivation's there. Let's like hammer you and let's get results really, really quick. And in, well, my experience anyway, that tends to lead to, like a soft tissue injury, and you're kind of relapsing and you're going backwards instead of forwards. So I think what was great about your program was the auto regulation concept, where it's it's been game changing. So where you're working to your capacity. So a 7 out of 10 on one day might not be a 7 out of 10 on the other day. So even if it's 5-10 minutes of stretching one day when you're feeling, shot, and then, you build yourself up and the next day you're feeling awesome and, you crack out a great session. It's whatever you can do on the day, I think is just, really important to get that consistency going.
Yeah, probably the best bit of advice I think for people is what you just said there. Just literally doing whatever you can and listening to your body, I think, is the biggest thing, especially if you're injured or in pain. So that's a really good point to touch on, and allows you to, I guess it lets you off the hook in a way as well, because you don't feel guilty because you haven't done the world's best workout and then you say, oh, you're going to quit because you can't do everything. So yeah, I'm glad you touched on that. Last question is, what would you say is your favorite skill or movement that you've worked on over the last 3 months?
Yeah, it's an interesting one. I really like like all of the ring works has been awesome. I think getting some ring dips back in has been really fun. I was amazed at the first one I tried to do, and I just like got to the bottom and couldn't push myself back up. I'm like, oh wow, this is terrible. Getting a few dips in again has been really good. But I think the candlestick into the tuck has been really awesome. So basically being able to hold myself upside down on the rings, slowly bring my knees down, and then like sort of turn into like a holding tuck. I think that's, it's like a really cool feeling. Keeping yourself in that like nice straight line as well. Like it's a whole body movement. It's your core, your legs. You got to have that massive like proprioception in your body to be able to hold that. And I think that's, I guess, like a good example of where I'm feeling at the moment. Like I'm more in tune with my body. I feel more confident in my body. And like going forward, I think, I'm setting myself up, for a career where I'm not going to sort of burn out or get injured. So.
Yeah, awesome. All right, Daniel, thank you so much for taking time out of your day today and sharing your experience with everyone out there.
No worries. Thanks heaps, Connor.
Cheers, mate.